Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ready, Set, Recap, where we recap what's been going on. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend, Skyler.
Welcome to the show.
This week in the news, we've got a new Xbox console announced, PlayStation backing out of PC, the first trailer for the Lanterns TV show, and much, much more. But Skyler, before we get into all that, what's been going on with you this week?
Man, quite a bit. I've got a handful of new movies that I can throw little reviews on. I saw 3 movies this week. So I'll just rapid fire those real quick. First one was How to Make a Killing. It's a new Glenn Powell movie that involves murder.
Yeah, I did see the trailer for that. I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty cute. I give that one 3.5 stars, which is a passing grade, as I always say.
Nice.
Enjoyable. Had fun with that. Then I also saw the animated movie Goat, the basketball.
Oh. Yeah.
Caleb McLaughlin. No, actually, you know what? I'll give that one 4 stars. I like that one. It was fun.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. I mean, there was not the vibe I was getting from everything I saw of that one.
No, I mean, it's a kid's movie. Obviously, it's more... My review of it is, it's like Zootopia meets Spider-Verse vibe with a little bit of Like Mike thrown in.
Sure.
You know? So it's fine. It's a fun passing movie. The animation's great, obviously.
Yeah, that makes
some
sense.
Fun bits in it. So I give that 4 stars.
Is LeBron in it?
LeBron is not in it. It is a Steph Curry produced movie.
Well, then it shouldn't be able to call itself the GOAT because LeBron's not in it. That's all I'm saying.
Steph Curry is in it, but he's not he's a side character. So
is he still a GOAT or what's the deal?
No, he's a giraffe.
That's funny.
He's on the team, but he's a giraffe, yeah. And then the last movie I saw this week, hey, I saw it, so no one else has to. I did see Scream 7, and it's really, really, really not good.
Yeah, you were telling me a little bit about this before. I was very disappointed to hear that, because I do like the Scream movies generally.
I do too. Before this movie, I would always kind of say, like, even the, quote, bad Scream movies aren't really that bad. Like, the worst one was 3, maybe 4. I think 5 and 6 were actually quite fun. And this one is just straight up not a good one at all.
Yeah.
It's a bit embarrassing. But hey, to each their own. If you love Scream and go see this and you're like, that's awesome, I just like Scream, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I think it's an odd hill to die on for this one, but probably shouldn't have gotten rid of Melissa Barrera.
I don't. Is that the older sister?
She's the one from the last 2 movies that
is not Wednesday Addams.
She's not Wednesday Addams.
She's the other
she was vocally in support of Palestine.
And how dare she? I guess.
And so they were like, let's get that out of here. And not a lot of people liked that, myself incled.
Who produces those movies? Is that Paramount? Because they've been doing some horse shit lately too.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yep. Did you see the? I'm not going to throw this in the news rundown, but you posted it. I assume you. So I know you saw actually that they dragged in Max Landis to work on some G.I. Joe movie or something. That's hilarious.
Man, isn't that nuts?
I hope it never comes out.
Absolutely bonkers. But okay, so that's all the movies that I saw. All the 2 recommendations and the 1 not recommendation I can give you. Obviously,
so 3.5 is like that's high enough to be like a recommend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say go for it. Obviously, the big thing this week, as I've been playing Resident Evil 9 Requiem.
As have I.
Resident Evil 9 Requiem.
I did peep your achievements like 2 hours ago, and I do know definitively that you're ahead of me by a little bit, at least by one achievement.
Yeah, so I don't even think we're definitely not even in the final act. I've been going slow with it. I would say we've probably got around half the game left. I would guess. I don't know.
Well, it's been described to me, I mean, without spoilers, it's been described to me that it's in like 2 pretty distinct halves, and I don't know this for a fact, I think the hospital is the first half.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think I'm anywhere near even done with the hospital. So,
I I have the ability to, I believe, leave the hospital. That's where I am.
Oh, okay.
Exactly where I am. So I'm having so much fun with this game, and I would like to say that it is definitively the scariest one. I would certainly say.
Um, yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Seven would be the other one that like argues
yeah,
it, but I do
but
think,
so like
yeah.
part of it is obviously we got the action stuff. Whenever you're playing as Leon, you feel like Superman, like you can't touch me,
Hmm.
which is awesome. Love that. And whenever you play as Grace, obviously you're very small and scared, and this is the horror part of it, which is exactly how they described it would be. And I just think the things that chase you as Grace are scarier than anything we've ever had before.
I think they're definitely played as scarier. I think
Yeah.
the I don't know. I don't know that they're like visually as scary as some of the other monsters we've had, but
I think the main one
they
is.
are terrifying. Well, I've only seen two, so I don't know what
That's
third one you might be
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Well, I don't know what the main one would be because the one that
The
I
main
thought
one.
from the trailers was the main one was not the main one.
Well, there's also a fat guy, and that's fun. That's
Uh-huh.
cool. Um, regardless, what a fun game. Really loving it, and I'm glad that everyone else is like super into it. It's not only well scoring, but also it's selling super well in the to the point that like you can't really find it physically, which is nuts.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, last week you said when you were looking for it physically, you did go to the two stores that have said that they are gonna stop carrying physical things.
Yeah, but my point still stands. It's
Yeah.
very well selling.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I
Um,
think it sold, what was it, 5 million in the first 5 days or something. And then
mhm.
right now it's it's tied for first for highest rated user score wise on Metacritic with Claire Obscure, but Resident Evil 9 doesn't have the controversy of having some amount of AI usage.
That's true.
So, in my opinion, I think that should bump it up at least, the .01 to put it above Claire Obscure,
Absolutely. We're loving Resident Evil right now.
a game that I haven't
And
played.
then
Um,
and
I
then
should
short
say this
Oh, go
game,
ahead.
because I also played this and I don't want to, bring it back up in my section.
Yeah.
Everything you said is correct. It's super good. What a great game. Oh my God. 10 out of 10. How do I say this? I think the way that it combines the two, like Leon and Grace, the two different gameplay styles, is very much Resident Evil, like the two different sort of eras of Resident Evil, but it
Yeah.
also so heavily reminds me of the Evil Within 2. Like, I think
Oh,
those two
okay.
halves
Okay.
coming together makes it, like, turns it into the Evil Within 2, which is also a Shinji Mikami game. So all
Oh.
that DNA is still in there. But yeah, if you really
There's a
like
lot
this
of
one, I would
there's a lot
recommend
of
that.
DNA in this game.
Yeah, oh, there's a lot. I'm scooping it up and putting it in all kinds of stuff and then injecting it into my butthole.
Yep. That's ooh. And that's really all I've done worth mentioning other than of course watching the new episode of Survivor because I do that now.
Right.
In which the new episode within the first 5 minutes one of the contestants just shits his pants.
Oh my God.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Christian Ubicki, it goes without saying, is a fan favorite. I think pretty much everybody on this season is a fan favorite, with the one exception being, I can't even remember her name. I keep wanting to call her Abigail, and that's not correct. Angelina, who on this episode, literally at one point, I'm watching the team because she's on the team with Colby, and
Mhm.
I'm like trying to break down like, oh, how's the vote gonna go if they go to tribal? Because I'm always doing that while I'm watching,
Yeah.
and I forgot that she was in the game until it cut to a shot of the whole tribe going to a challenge. And I was
Right,
like,
right.
oh, that's right, Angelina's in this season. That's crazy. Like, she was not present this episode, which is not a great sign for her.
No.
Um,
No.
but Christian Vicky
This
is so fucking funny. Oh my God.
she's definitely one of the characters I forget is there, but upon looking up all the contestants, she's from San Diego, so
Oh, that's
if she wins the whole thing, we're gonna count that as a win.
she won't. She won't. I
No.
I guarantee there is absolutely a better Survivor player who has been from that area. I'll put it that way.
Makes sense.
I don't know who off the top of my head. I don't remember where everyone's from, but I can pretty much guarantee it. But yeah, Christian like fully shits his pants. And then he says, and you brought this up, we were hanging out afterwards. You were like, he said that he's entering a pantheon of like former
Yeah.
survivors. I tried looking it up. As far as I'm aware, and as far as my research could show me, no one has ever actually shit their pants on Survivor before. Not a single person.
He's just trying to rewrite history so that he's not the only one.
In 42, Owen, who frankly should probably be on this season, I think he's great. He almost shit his pants at a challenge, and he had to like run off at the end of the challenge to quickly shit in the woods, and that's I believe the closest we've gotten. So
you could feel the tragedy on Christian's face where he just stops moving,
and he's like, and they spend so much time on it,
and like, hey bro, you good? He's like, hang on, I'll let you know. Nope, I gotta go.
I did in fact shat my pants.
Just sadly does a waddle of shame into the ocean and tells the camera crew, like, you're not gonna want to see this. What fantastic television.
Honestly, this season has been so good so far, and I know we're only 2 episodes in, but a lot of the time in these returnee seasons, the bigger problem is the boot order. So, like, really big people go out super, super early, and you're like, shit, that sucks. Like, Winners at War is terrible for that. Like, all of my favorite players are gone basically before the merge, and that sucks ass. It's so bad. But in this one, yes, we're losing players that people love, because people love everybody. But the huge name people, they're just, like, kind of dominating the game right now. And I'm really happy to see the old school players not getting just completely destroyed, because I was worried that was going to be the case coming in. Because a lot of the times when they do these returning seasons, the older people like can't keep up. That has not been the case. Like Ozzy is doing extremely well in the challenges. Colby's still doing really well. Suri is very good socially still. Like all of the things that they used to be good at, they're still doing well. I'm very happy about it. Coach is still being the exact same asshole he always has been.
Yeah.
I love him so much. But we gotta say it. The champion of this episode, without a doubt, Rick Devens, the GOAT, the man, the legend.
Man,
I love this man.
He's plotting.
He's so good. If he wins, I will jump up and down screaming. He's not one of the ones that I predicted to win because I just like didn't think that people would let him do things.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't care if he does. Like he's just so good for TV.
Uh-huh.
I'm enjoying it so much. Like him getting into a fight with a Joe with 10 out of 10. So good. Him and Christian getting together to like plot this like hiding the idol thing. Outstanding. Oh, I love him so much.
I did jot down one note while I was watching that I was like, make sure to bring this up. My note just reads, Jonathan is a beast.
Jonathan's huge. Yeah. He's very big.
Dude is specifically that part when they're going through the snake challenge and he just like forward action rolls through the last rope.
Yeah. Well, and
like, holy shit.
If I remember right, he was paired up with Camilla, right? Because I remember thinking that like 2 of the 3 starting groups was like huge dude, little girl. Right? And he basically just like carried the thing by himself because Camilla's not weak by any stretch of the imagination, but she is like 4'6". So but hey, honestly, the team that I'm rooting for, well, we're getting a tribe swap next episode, so that'll get all shuffled up. But the tribe that I have been rooting for, I thought they were screwed in that challenge at first, but then Colby and Stephanie just like ran off and made up all of the time in like 1 second. I was like, hell yeah. It's great TV. This season's been amazing so far. Is that your week?
Yep, that was my whole week. What have you got going on?
So basically just that, like outside of Resident Evil and Survivor, not a whole lot else happened this week that is worth talking about. Like I did a couple of things. Really the only other thing I can even think of is that I got caught up on an anime called Hell's Paradise. I don't know if I talked about this when the first season was going on. I don't know when that was. I don't remember if that was last year or if it was one of the ones that like skipped a year, you know what I mean? It's one where like back in olden Japan times, they sent the like emperor wanted to find the elixir of eternal life or whatever, and he knows that it's on this island that's like super shitty and everyone that ever goes there dies and then comes back like mutated into a flower or some shit. And so he sends like his best samurai / executioners, each one with a prisoner, like as they're in a duo of like an executioner and a prisoner. You know what I mean? And they're I don't know. It's an interesting setup that I'm doing a really bad job of describing. But the first season was great, and the second season so far is also really good. I want to say like 8 episodes in now. I don't know off the top of my head. And it is continuing to be really gorgeous, if nothing else. I think the plot for me is sort of falling through at this point, where it is just kind of like, and now we're going to keep fighting for another however many episodes. I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, I don't know how much more legs this has, narratively speaking, unless they introduce something crazy in the next, couple episodes before the season ends. But
Sure.
it's being animated by Mappa, who are really, really good at just specifically fight scenes. So every time that one of those happens, they look great. So it's definitely worth a watch. But I don't know that I'm like, gonna add it to my list of favorite anime or whatever. Yeah, I mean that's all I did. That's all I did this week is watch Christian poop his pants, watch Hell's
You're right.
Paradise, and then poop my own pants while playing Resident Evil. That was my week. Lots of poop.
That's true. There was poop. There is another little update that we could give here. We won't dwell on it too much,
Yeah,
but if anyone listened to our rematch wrestling rosters draft,
yeah,
I guess a little update would be I'm doing really good right now.
right.
Let me see here. Wrestlers that I want to specifically shout out and say thank you to are Kyle Fletcher, who won the AEW TNT Championship, Penta, who won the WWE Intercontinental Championship, AJ Lee, of course,
Who
won the
stole?
Women's
Don't say
Intercontinental.
won.
Who
Stole.
won? She
Who
won
stole?
the
She
Women's
colluded with a crooked
Intercontinental.
referee to steal.
That's not true. That's not what happened.
That is what happened.
And then Kyle Fletcher yet again won another championship alongside your boy Kazuchika
My
Okada.
guy. My
They
boy.
took the AEW Trios Tag Championships,
Yeah.
which is all great, except my since the draft, I haven't been having nothing but good luck. I've had my share of bad luck. Obviously, AJ Styles got
retired. Yeah.
freaking retired. Chelsea Green got a little hurt, and the reason I wanted to bring this up right now, let you know live on air, is Jordan Grace got hurt tonight.
Did she really? I didn't know that.
She might have a knee injury
Dude, that
during a
sucks.
recording, a taping for a main event match.
That sucks so hard. Like, I feel bad. I don't feel bad for you because you already have like 20 points and you're winning by 100 miles. But I do
Come
feel bad
on,
for
feel bad for
her.
me. Oh, what?
Obviously.
Obviously, Jordan's great.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not too serious. Hopefully she can bounce back.
Yeah.
Take a month off. That's. Oh, I don't want her to miss Mania though. That would suck.
I
I mean,
mean,
not
if
for
she
me, for
just hurt
her.
her knee, she's not going to be at Mania.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah, it
she's
really
okay.
is. We'll see.
But yeah. Let's get into the rest of it. Let's get into the
Absolutely.
news.
In the news this week, we have a couple of like little smaller ones, and then I think some very fun ones. So first up on the docket here, I have. This is not confirmed, but it's as close to confirmed as it can be without being.
Mhm.
Is a lot of really trustworthy leakers from the game space have been saying that they have figured out what the next God of War game is going to be. This has been getting teased
Oh,
for a long time. At one point, for some reason, people thought it was going to be a sci-fi game. Other people were like, "Oh, we're going to switch to the Egyptian mythology," because I feel like we've kind of like capped out on what we can do with now with spoilers of the second of Ragnarok. But I think we're kind of capped out on what we can do with the Norse stuff going
sure.
forward.
Yeah.
So it looks like what this is going to be is I have to assume a prequel, because it looks like it's a sort of spin-off game where you don't play as Kratos, you play as his dead Norse wife Faye, which
Hmm.
I don't think is going to be received well online because it's a woman.
For yeah, unfortunately.
And also it's I think it is even outside of that, the obvious sexism that exists in all video games.
Yeah.
I do think it's going to be kind of a hard sell because she's not a character. Like she has, I think, like one cutscene in the first of the new God of War games where she says like 2 lines and then dies off screen. You know what I mean? So it's not.
I don't even remember her being in the first one at all. I mean,
She's in, yeah,
obviously her her not being there is a driving force for
right.
Atreus and stuff, but other than that, I don't remember
It'd be like a
physically ever
prequel
seeing her.
to The Big Lebowski where you play as the guy, or where the main character is the guy who
Oh,
died.
you play as the rug that gets pissed on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm sure she'll be interesting. Like everything that we know, like we've heard bits of her backstory throughout that game. Like, we know that the Leviathan axe was her axe, so we know that she's a warrior,
Yeah.
so she's going to be
Yeah,
fighting.
yeah.
Like, we know that she, I guess this is spoilers, but the game came out in 2018, 2016, whatever it was.
Yeah, I
So,
was going to say
so
the
who
same
cares?
thing.
Like, we know she's a giant. We know she has powers.
Yeah.
Like, so she's incredibly capable. So it's not going to be a situation of like, I don't think people will be upset on the same level that they were of like the Mary Jane sections in the Spider-Man games.
Oh, well.
I'm
Is that because Mary Jane's a woman or because the stealth tasered thing was just not great?
I think it was a little bit of both. It depended on who
Okay.
was complaining.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So I'm interested in this. I do think it's such a weird choice. Like, I look at all of the other characters from that game that I would rather play a game about, and I'm like, there should be like this should be Freya. This should be Freya's game, right?
Oh, okay.
Former head
Yeah.
of the Valkyries. Like,
Hmm.
you can't tell me that that's not a more interesting story.
No, I can't, and I won't.
I could be wrong because we don't know Faye's story. It could be very interesting, and maybe that's
Hmm.
more exciting that we don't know sort of what's going to happen, other than obviously she dies.
Hmm.
But man, I don't know. It's not something I'm excited for, but it is just a spin-off. Like, we have to assume that they're also plotting the next mainline, I guess, God of War game.
Sure.
So
And
hopefully that's not 15 years out, but we'll see.
no, me personally, I would be in the camp of people who roots for switching to a new pantheon of gods.
Yeah,
Not to say that, Norse mythology's not cool or something, because it is, but I feel I'm a little tapped out on it.
I think we've done what we can with it for the most part.
Yeah.
It's not a mythology that people know very well, so that's sort of a double-edged sword where it's like you can kind of do whatever you want with it, but then at the same time you don't get the pops of like it's Hades, you know what I mean? No one's popping for
Sure.
Heimdall, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, and I don't know necessarily that the Egypt pantheon would fix that. My biggest concern for like the main line is that they're going to switch from Kratos over to Atreus, and I really don't want that because I hate that kid. So
I mean, if he's an adult, he'll be a little different.
you would hope
So
so,
who knows?
but who knows?
He's
But
he's yeah, still whiny.
yeah, that's literally the only information we have is that the next one is going to be apparently about Faye. So I'm sure people will be really upset about that. But in other news,
I mean, when it was still the Greek mythology, there was tons of spin-offs. I mean, all with Kratos, but tons of spin-offs.
Right.
So I guess it's not fair to like roll my eyes. It's like, oh, another Norse game. Like, it's only the third one, so.
right?
But
Yeah,
I would be in favor of moving on already, I guess.
yeah, and I think that's a common opinion, you know. But in other news, what can only be described as the dawn of a new pirate era,
Oh,
our boy Oda, author and mangaka of the One Piece series,
yes.
has written down what the One Piece is, what the treasure at
Uh-huh.
the end of the Grand Line is, and he put
He
it in
sure
a
has.
teeny tiny little chest. Put that in like a Bacta spear. What are they called? You know what I'm talking about. You put it in like a little waterproof case, and they have sunk it to the bottom of the ocean,
Hmm.
which is the coolest thing I think any anime has ever done ever.
He's an insane person.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it
but
so much.
but here's the scary thing, right?
Yeah.
First of all, you know that there's already some TikTok people that are like, "How do we get down there?"
Right. Well, we know
Using
who.
their
We know who's doing it.
influencer money. But one name does come to mind of like if this person genuinely wanted to know the answer to what the One Piece was, he has the capability to do it. Do you know who I'm referring to?
Of course I do. It's the
Okay.
one who I think has already made jokes that he's going to go get it.
No, see, I don't think the person I'm referring to has made jokes.
Are we not talking about I Show Speed?
Now, see, he is Joy Boy incarnate.
He's
and
real
he
world Joy
is-
Boy.
He is the most likely person to try, but I think the most likely person to succeed if they would try is James Cameron.
Oh, James Cameron doesn't know what One Piece is.
He might though.
The
He
only
knows
way
what Alita Battle Angel is.
the only way that James Cameron is getting the One Piece is if he's just already down there because he's a sicko.
And he just
He's like,
caught
I'm
it.
in the
It just
neighborhood.
It floated down like a hot dog with a parachute at a baseball game.
Right. What?
Yeah. That's a thing that happens. Don't worry about it.
Okay, all right. Sure, man, sure. I will say, I hope that the next update we have of this story is that somebody dove down or whatever and got it, and it just says like, eat shit. Like it's just
It,
like Oda just wrote like, go fuck yourself.
it's like a buy one get one coupon for that McDonald's Japan One Piece crossover thing that they're doing.
Right.
Have you seen that, by the way?
Yeah, it is Burger King,
It's
but
called.
yeah, I think.
It's Burger King. Okay, it's Burger King. It's the One Piece, but it's just a giant chicken nugget.
I'm so excited. Wait, maybe they're doing a McDonald's one too, because I don't think I saw the big chicken nugget. Burger King's doing a
I,
thing
s-
where it's like a sandwich or something. They're doing
I
like the
saw
same way that they did the SpongeBob shit.
it's a McDonald's.
Okay, so they're both doing it then.
Yeah, it's just it. Imagine just the little cardboard box that you get like your 4 to 6 piece nuggets in, and you open it, and it's just a giant chicken nugget,
Hell
and
yeah.
it's called the One Piece is what they're calling it.
There's never been a better time to go to Japan.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go.
The One Piece
Let's
is
get on
real.
over there. The I think the new season of Fortnite also drops at almost the exact same time that the new season of the One Piece live action drops, and I do think
Mm,
that that could imply that we're finally getting the One Piece skins that everyone has wanted for 100 years. So we'll see.
okay.
We'll see.
I'm sure we've talked about this before, but do you think they'll be like anime skins or tie into the show skins?
Honestly,
I mean, I guess either is fine,
a lot of the time
but
when they do things like that, it'll be one skin with two different like shaders on it, and you can just switch back and forth.
oh
But
yeah,
you just
that's
buy it
that's
once.
fair. That's fair enough.
So,
Yeah, by our next recap episode, I will have watched the entirety of the show.
oh, are they
I
dropping it
believe it
all
all
in
drops.
one?
I think so.
Oh, I don't like that.
Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. If not, then I'll be talking about at least the first
Yeah.
episode.
In other TV show news, I don't know if you care about this one, but this one's for Daniel. We got the first look at the Life is Strange TV show that's going to be over on Amazon Prime.
I did see this.
We got casting for the two main characters because that's how you're supposed to cast a show, is you announce who the
Hmm.
main characters are first. God
Yeah,
of War
yeah.
team.
Mhm.
So we've got Tatum Grace Hopkins playing Max. She's a complete unknown. She has only one other credit to her name, and it's a short film called Meek, which has won a bunch of awards, and she definitely looks the part. But obviously, I can't have any opinion about her because I don't know who she is.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she'll do fine. And then Maisie Stella is playing Chloe, who is also, I feel like, a relative unknown. Except that she has been in 118 episodes of that TV show Nashville as a character called Daphne Conrad, but I don't think she's a main character. From what I gather, I think she's like somebody's sister who's like in the background a lot. You know what I mean?
Oh, a lot for 118 episodes.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be most of the episodes because the show's started in I don't know, not too long ago. I don't know. I'm really excited for that. I do love that I forgot that they were making this. I think it's one of the ones that like got announced and then we were all like, oh, we'll see what happens with it, you know, which because they
Yeah.
announced 500 video game adaptations of all over the place and then half of them died immediately.
Mhm.
So I did forget this was happening, but I do think this has a really high potential of being a really good TV show. Like, I don't know these actresses. I don't know if they're good or what. I'm sure they're fine. But I think the best thing they could do for this show is just tell a different story with the characters. Because
Mm,
or maybe season one can be the first game and then we just like spin off in different ways. I don't
branch
know.
out from there.
Because it's like the first game is so good and and it would do well on a TV show. But there is part of me that's like, I just want different content. Like I don't want to watch the game that I already played. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure it would be
So
great. I'm sure it would be great.
so I did play season 1. We were college roommates when that came out.
And they were roommates.
So it's been so long, but there is like that like time reversal aspect. The
Right.
universe is unraveling, falling apart. So there's like a, oh god, I hate to say it, but like a multiversal thing that they could play with, where they could
Right.
do a different story and not step on the games, but still like that it's not discrediting that the games
Yeah.
happened, kind of thing.
There absolutely will be some level of that. And to be fair, that's already canon to the games because the second
Yeah, I only ever played the first
the
season.
the
So.
second one like Life is Strange 2, which is about different characters, but the second time that
Yeah.
we play as Max, her power has changed a little bit. And so instead of reversing time, you're jumping back and forth between two different timelines.
Oh.
Um,
Okay. Yeah.
so
Timelines. Yeah. There you go.
they could bring in some aspect of that into this one. That could just be what season 2 is, although it would be a pretty big jump because she's like fully an adult in the second one.
Right.
So they might want to wait a little while on that or recast, I guess. I don't know. I'm very excited for it. I need to see a trailer to understand like A, how much budget they're putting behind this, and B, how they're looking at it in terms of tone. Because I'm really
Sure.
hoping that they're not like, we're gonna make like supernatural euphoria. You know what I mean? Like that's not what I
Oh,
want.
yeah.
But I do think
No.
that there's somewhere on some whiteboard that could very easily be like something they
Supernatural
wrote up
13
somewhere.
Reasons Why, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, I guess. Um, but we'll see. There was a joke casting that people thought was real for a while, where they thought Mr. Jefferson was being, who is the antagonist. I
Yeah.
won't say his crimes, but you know.
They're
Uh,
bad.
there was a joke casting of him as Chris Pratt, and I was like, that'd be
Oh, of
really
course.
funny. That'd be really funny. But hey, guess what?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not the
yeah.
only new TV show that we're getting sort of announced this week.
What?
We also got more Game of Thrones. You thought we were
What?
done at a third Game of Thrones show? After the
No.
fourth one got, I think, canceled, the one where Jon Snow was going to go north of the wall, and then that, I don't know what happened with that. I assume it's dead.
I think it's still up in the air, but yeah, I don't
No
know.
idea. Couldn't tell you. But they are doing an adaptation of Aegon's Conquest, except they're
Yeah,
doing it twice.
this is interesting. I think, unless I misread it, it sounds like what they're doing is they're pitching it as a movie and they're pitching it as a show, and they're just gonna see over time which one feels better and
And
then
just do the
go
one.
with it.
It's
Yeah,
unclear. Yeah, because in the thing that I obviously this isn't like an official announcement. This is something I think that leaked out. It's not like everywhere I've seen it wasn't being reported by Warner Brothers. It was being reported by like Discussing Film or like whoever, right?
yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know how seriously we can take like the particular wording of like rival projects, which is what it said in the thing that I saw.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, but the two are a quote Dune-sized movie, which I don't know what that means, but it's probably what they pitched to the Warner Brothers execs to get the money for it. Because if you just say we're making another Dune, then that probably
They
helps.
they picture Aegon Targaryen and his sisters digging up a bunch of nuclear explosives in a cave and
Yeah,
launching it
yeah,
at Dorne, but Dorne survives.
hell yeah. And that's apparently being worked on by the writer of Andor, Willimon, and then a TV
Mhm.
series adapting the same thing, based being worked on by the co-writer of the Batman 2, Mattson Tomlin. Now, Skyler, I did think this. Is it weird
Yeah,
that the
yeah.
guy whose biggest credit is a movie is making the show, and the guy whose biggest credit is a show is making the movie? Because
Hmm.
I feel like writing for a TV show is different from writing for a movie.
Well, certainly
Yeah,
it would be, structurally.
both of those things great. You
Uh,
know, I guess I'm assuming the Batman 2 is going to be great. I don't know if this guy also worked on the Batman. I don't know why I assumed he did, but I don't know that he did. Andor's great. The Batman 2 is probably going to be great. So
yeah. I For me, the only real red flag I'm getting from this is the idea of like we want to do a thing and it's going to be like that other thing you like and it's going to be written by the other guy from that other thing that you like too. It's just like you're just saying a
yeah,
lot of words. I
right.
don't know.
I do think that is
But hey,
how.
that's everything.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I think that's how
it's a
like
moot point.
so many pitches that I see are like we're doing that thing and it's going to be like even the I mean we're going to talk about the Lantern show in a minute here.
Mhm.
When the first time I saw that, it was like, oh, it's going to be like True Detective. You know what I mean? Like I think that's just how people pitch
Yeah,
shit now is that
but
they
it's
don't say the name of the like explain the idea they have. They're like
there's the
they need
nature
a
of
log line that's like it's going to be like this
you
show, right?
you have to sell it before you even make it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to get the hype there, and if you can get little Johnny on Reddit to be like, "Oh, I liked Andor, and this is gonna be Andor, but Game of Thrones." That doesn't sound right. But if you can
I
get little
mean,
Johnny on Reddit to think that, then he's gonna get excited and keep paying for his, well, not HBO Max. Now he's got to pay for something different probably
Paramount
by the time
Plus.
this rolls around.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Because that was another thing that they said is they want to merge Paramount Plus and HBO.
Mm.
But theoretically, if they do that, the one that should survive should be HBO because that's the one that is bigger and has more name value.
I would say, yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't love. I don't. We already talked about it last week, but I don't love that whole situation. It's gonna be a fucking mess. I'm just really looking forward to the inevitable crash of that House of Cards company that they're building there, and
Mm.
hopefully the pieces of it that I care about land in a better
Mm.
place than they are now. It's gonna get worse
Just sell it to
before it gets
us.
better.
Just sell it to us. No,
Yeah,
Logan Paul will buy it. It'll all get worse.
yeah. Honestly, and this is a hot take. I'd take Logan Paul over the Ellisons any fucking day. At least Logan Paul respected Bad Bunny.
Yeah, he was nice to Bad Bunny. I guess there is that.
So Logan Paul is friends with war criminals. The Ellisons might be war criminals.
Hmm.
Anyway, speaking of HBO, let's talk about that Lanterns trailer. So we got a brand new trailer for Lanterns, the new HBO
Yeah.
series that comes out, I don't know, sometime soon. And I think it like kind of leaked and they're like, all right, fuck it, and just put the thing out anyway. So I think that they were planning on doing this later. I think there's probably some like DC event where they're going to be like, here's all the stuff that we still have slated before the Paramount comes in and ruins everything. But we got this trailer and I think it looks really good and also
Hmm.
not really like what I was expecting, which is I think a positive. The watching this trailer, if you took out like a couple of frames, you would not know this was a Green Lantern show. And I don't know if that's good or bad. It's good for me. I don't know if that's good for the fan base. Um,
Right.
and I know there's going to be more Green Lantern stuff that happens probably at the tail end of the season, if anything.
Yeah.
But watching the show, it just like so it's superhero Fargo is what I'm looking at, and I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So far I feel like this is kind of going the way I was picturing it in my mind.
Oh,
Very
okay.
stripped back. I was not expecting when they started talking about this, I was like, I'd be surprised if we even go to space this season. And I still very much feel that.
Yeah, we might get like a flashback or something, but yeah, we're probably not going to do much of any time in space.
Um, but I would say that my excitement for this is still exactly where it was before, which is good. It's on the positive side. I think our main two cast members look great. Um, Obviously, the big point of contention on the internet right now is we do get a look at. I'm not going to say the suit. I'm going to say a suit because you never know.
Right.
Um,
I have seen
what do you?
people.
Yeah,
Well, ask your question first because it's
I
probably the
was
one
just
you're
gonna say, what
talking
do you
to.
think of it?
I I like it. I think it's. I'm gonna have to
Mhm.
see it on the person. I think that is more important than what it looks like hanging up in a closet. I don't know. It's traditionally in the comics of Green Lantern that I've read, the costume is not like a thing you
Physical.
can hang up in the closet. It's a construct made from the ring. So it is weird that it's in the closet at all.
Mhm.
But I'm not against it. I think that makes sense, and it also 100% is like it honestly might just be a jab at the movie of being like it's not going to be a floating CGI head because it's a real costume.
Maybe.
So
Yeah.
not literally. I'm sure that James Gunn wasn't like fuck you, but like for the fan base that might be how they take it.
Right.
I do think it looks good hanging there. The two things people have said about it is it doesn't look green enough, which I kind of agree,
Right.
but I assume once he's flying in it and doing Green Lantern shit, it will be. And then some people have said that it looks like specifically the Earth One Green Lantern suit. And I looked up the Green Lantern the Earth One because I read that like forever ago, and it's a good one. If I don't know if anyone's looking for Green Lantern comics to read, I would recommend Earth One as one of those. I don't think it's similar, like it has similar vibes, but it's not the same. So
Right.
I don't know exactly if that's intentional. You know what I mean? Like it's far enough off that I don't know that they're intentionally being like it's an Earth One suit. Like I don't know that that's the case. I'll say it's as close to the Earth One suit as Superman's suit is to the New 52 suit. You know what I mean? Where like it's got the collar,
Okay.
like it has bits of it where you're like, yeah, that's kind of that. But for the most part, you're like, it's different though. Like it's its own thing.
Hmm.
And I do think that's a good idea. But I don't know.
I would say so. I guess going to the people saying it's not green enough thing.
Yeah.
Because we see there's green on like the upper shoulder part, and then there's a lot of black and what looks to be a lot of brown. I guess it could be.
Like a
It
foresty
could.
green.
Yeah, it could be a foresty green. It could be any. It's hard to tell. The lighting in that little closet is up
It's a
there, but
very brown
if
show.
it if it is brown, my first thought is like it kind of, because what do we see Hal Jordan like wearing a lot when he's not Green Lantern in like comic books or
Yeah,
cartoons or whatever? Like you see
exactly.
that bomber jacket,
Right.
and I'm like that kind of invokes, and I would say that that's definitely Hal's suit.
For sure. Yeah.
Um,
Well, because I mean, the trailer flat out says John hasn't even worn a ring yet, so I don't know that he would
yeah,
have a suit yet.
yeah. Especially if they're physical suits. Like, does Oa send that in the mail? How does that work?
They have one Green Lantern who lives on Oa, and he's the guy with the gray hair from Project Runway. And he flies
Mhm,
down and he does a whole suit fitting for you. And he's like, I have to make sure that it
mhm.
like matches your character and like your personality.
Also, getting caught up on this one suit that, again, we're pretty sure is Hal's.
Right. And we don't know how important Hal is going to be going forward because
Yeah,
even in this
exactly.
trailer, the vibe is like John Stewart is going to replace Hal.
hmm John's gonna get his own suit,
100%.
and it's not gonna be a one-to-one. I think we're gonna, at the end of the day, be looking at Hal, Guy, and John all having three very distinctive-looking Green Lantern suits,
Yeah.
which is interesting. Speaking of Guy, um,
He's confirmed to be in this at some degree.
yes, Nathan Fillion himself has said like he's filmed stuff for this, which is interesting because there's that part at the end, like that little joke where John says like, "Have you ever like talked to the other Green Lanterns?" And he's like, "No, they're all aliens." And I'm like, "Well,
Right.
there's the one,
There's the one. Yeah.
there's Guy Gardner. We've seen him.
You know what's funny is
That's
that joke
interesting.
happened. I didn't even think about Guy. I like
Yeah,
didn't
well,
even
that's
consider him.
that's another thing too. Like, there's that shot of Hal like taking off and flying, and he's not
Right.
really
And it's
like
just street clothes.
using the ring. He's just kind of flying. There's no like green aura around him or anything like that. Not saying that there
Right.
needs to be, but there was like this kind of like reaction to it I saw of like, wow, we finally see Green Lantern flying and it looks weird or whatever. And
And
I'm
he's
like,
just
well,
flying.
we did see a Green Lantern flying. We saw Guy do it. Like, we've seen
Yeah.
that.
I don't remember if he did. I don't think he had an aura in Superman.
No,
I don't think
not that
so.
I can recall. There's definitely
Well,
that shot of the Justice Gang floating there, and he's
right.
not glowing
Well,
green.
and I think that that's probably for the best, right?
Mm,
Because on a comic book that is fine because you can just put a green
mhm,
outline around the guy and be
mhm.
like he's got like, an aura around him or whatever. Or like when they're flying through
Yeah,
space, they're supposed to have that cuz it like lets them breathe basically.
yeah,
But in a live action situation, if the conceit is that they have this aura, this like shield around them, then what excuse can you give for why when you look directly at them, you aren't looking through green to see them? You know what I mean?
hmm
Plus, it probably just saves
hmm
on the effects budget, and it's not really important. So I think yeah. I didn't know people were upset about that, but I think that's a weird thing to focus
Well,
in on.
people. So when you, unfortunately, I'm at a point in my life where if I'm looking for what a big reaction to something is for our discussion, one of the places I check, other than just basic social media, would be Reddit.
Oh, okay.
And let me tell you, crawling around Reddit like a big old anthill are the last remnants of the Zack Snyder fans.
The
And
mole people.
God bless you people. You're really committed to what you love. But let me tell you, they are so convinced that they're getting the Snyderverse back because of Paramount Plus somehow. I don't
That's
really know the
crazy.
mental gymnastics that they've
Yeah,
done to convince themselves that like Zack Snyder's Justice League is like gonna stick it to the woke mob or something. I don't. 2 plus 2 doesn't equal 6, so I don't get it. But
yeah,
whatever. You're only hurting yourself, I guess.
yeah. I am a little concerned about what the DC projects going forward are going to end up looking like because I feel like basically all of them in the James Gunn era have had a pretty heavy amount of social commentary in them.
Well, let me tell you, the whole thing of the Netanyahu character in
Right.
Superman would not have made it
Well,
if this was made like 5 years from now.
and we don't have to worry about it anymore because that character is dead, I guess. So
That's true. They got him. So
check.
um going very baseline, I think this trailer I'm excited. Again, not more or any less excited than I was before, but I think the tone looks neat. I would say I'm probably more excited for this than I was for Peacemaker season 2.
I would
I
agree.
think.
Yeah, and I was still excited for that, but I think
Yeah.
that was sort of like a known quantity.
I think I have higher hopes for this now than I do like looking back on how like Peacemaker season 2 ended, because I think that left like a sour taste in the mouth a little bit. Not that it was bad. We still
Right,
I'm still
right.
sticking by that. The season wasn't bad. It was just kind of like, okay,
I agree.
especially how it ended. So
Yeah, the trailer or the season 2 of that did end on kind of a weird note. And there is the bit where I think James Gunn very specifically said that this would play into that a little bit.
eh.
Hopefully not a lot, but so there is that to be worried about, I guess. But I'm very excited for this. I think it's going to be great whenever it comes out. I don't actually know the release date. It got delayed at some point.
Is it April? Hang on.
I think it's soon, but I don't know how soon.
Oh, okay. I think it's coming out in August.
Okay.
When you Google it, it just says 2026.
That's not helpful.
So
Yeah.
no, you're probably right in assuming that there's going to be a little DC event where they put a firm release date on it and maybe show more stuff. Maybe they cave to the complaints and show like, look, John has his own suit. Even though
Right.
that's probably something they
Right.
should save
Yeah, 100%.
for the end of the show. Like not unlike Netflix Daredevil when he got his actual Daredevil suit at the end of season 1.
Yeah. I could see. I think that they almost not need to, but I think that there's enough going on in DC right now that it feels like it would warrant its own event. Because there's a lot of
Mhm.
like, hey, how much of the stuff that you announced like however many years ago still exists? What's the updates on that? What's going on with Wonder
Mhm.
Woman? What's going? Sergeant Rock is I'm sure canceled, but you keep saying it's
Well,
not, so I don't know.
plus first official look at Clayface, right?
Clayface would be great if
Probably
that's
probably
supposed to
should get that
be.
out
That's
there.
like I think Halloween time if I remember right.
Yeah, it's this year for sure.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff that they can talk about. Maybe they'll bring back the fandom.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Entirely possible that they could have already announced a date for this, and we just don't know because I don't know.
Yeah, fair enough. One thing that we won't have much longer to look forward to is Highguard. It was announced this week that Highguard will
Oh,
be officially shutting down on the 12th, which is less than a week from now. It's a really unfortunate situation. The game just was not able to get any lasting fan base. So they first laid off almost the entire team, and now they're announced that it's closing down. They did. I don't know. I guess is like maybe a last ditch thing, or maybe just because they were like, well, we have it. They put out a bunch of like the stuff that they were working on. So they added
mm,
just like here's an extra hero or warden, here's an extra gun, here's an extra like a bunch of that stuff. They just like dropped it because they're like, this is what we have. Like we're not gonna have time to do anything else, so you may as well play with it for the next 6 days. Which I do respect. The new warden's pretty cool, but I mean, we sort of saw the writing on the wall from this of this like unfortunately before it even came out, but especially I was trying to play it like maybe 2 or 3 days before the official announcement of it shutting down came out,
hmm
and I was unable to get into a game. So I was like, yeah, man, that's not gonna work. You know what I mean?
hmm
If it's a game that is already not popular and now it has gotten unpopular to the point where you cannot find a lobby full of people to play and there's not an answer to that, there's not like a you can replace them with bots or you can just play with a lopsided team or whatever. Yeah, man, sorry, like that sucks. That really sucks. I don't know 100% who is to blame for this. There is some aspect of it where you could say like Wildlight probably thought that this game was going to be bigger than it ended up being because they they really did push it in a way where it's like you had a ton of people working on this and it's a free to play game with not a ton of monetization. I'm not really sure where you thought the money was going to come from, and they said that when they were pushing to release, they were basically out of money at that point. Like it was like, okay, and now we need the money to start coming in. It's like that was never going to happen with a brand new IP from a brand new studio. Like you needed to build on that. So there's a lot of there's a lot of fault that can be put on the leadership of that team. I think the game itself was fine, which is unfortunately not enough in the games as a service market anymore because there is such a heavy competition for time in that space.
Yeah.
And then people are, I think, rightfully putting a lot of the blame on Jeff Keighley, which is fair and unfair. Like, I'm sure clearly he didn't like mean to kill it, but you know, I think when you shine a light on this thing that was never going to be as big as he made it seem like it was going to be, that it just like drags out this subculture of subhuman that's going to just destroy it from day one. So it like it was already probably doomed, but he just like put the pillow over the baby's head, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Heart goes out to the dev team.
Yeah.
I I didn't have anything kind to say about this when it got announced. I was just like, "Oh, great, another hero shooter." But you can't help but feel bad for the people that, they put years of their life into this and it didn't even get out of the gate and it's already gone. Like,
Yeah.
that sucks so hard.
It's going to have had a life of, I think it's like 5 or 6 weeks, something like that, which is really bad. I guess the one thing you could say is at least it's twice as long as Concord.
Oh,
So they've got
yeah,
that to put on their
I guess
resume,
that's
if that's something.
Somewhere between Concord and Multiverses. This is not a sustainable way to make video
No,
games.
games as a service.
Video games got to change, brother.
Games as a service is, and we've known for a while, just a really tough space to try and chase into. If you can get a hit in that space, you'll make money forever. But breaking into that space right now, when people are already so invested in the ecosystems that they're in, where it's like, I've already, not me, but like hypothetical me, I've already put $500 into skins in Overwatch, or $500 into Fortnite or whatever. Am I really going to start putting more money into a new game when I've already got like these games as service games aren't games that you are jumping back and forth between a bunch of them. You're picking like a handful, and that's just kind of where you go to hang out with your friends. Like, it's almost not even about the game at this point. It's like you've built a community in this game, right?
Yeah.
And so at this point, being like, hey, we opened a new hotspot over here and it's not as good yet, is a really tough sell.
Not as good, and you don't have everything you've already bought over there.
Yeah. Well, and it's such a bad situation because smaller teams trying to do it can't afford it, because it has to be free to play. So you have to find a way to monetize it, and you're not going to have a big enough audience at first to get basically any money back out of that. Because you're not paying $40 for a games of service game when you've already got all of these other ones that are free. And so these smaller teams can't really do that, right? They could start something incredibly small and then build it over the span of like a decade, and maybe that would work. But like we saw with this one, they were out of money by the time the game came out. And then the bigger companies that could do that, where they could put a ton of money into making it and launch it with a ton of content, are unwilling to let it not be good at first. They're unwilling to let it take that time to grow and build that audience. And so it comes out and it doesn't do numbers, and they just shut it down because it's not making the money, even though they're the only people in the space who have the money to like eat that cost for a couple years. So it's just like, it's a combination of the people who are able to do it won't, and the people who will can't. It's like, well, so what's the solution? I don't know.
Such a shame.
Yeah, it sucks. It's a real bummer. I do think people dogpiling on the game for being bad. Truly, the quality of the game has next to nothing to do with this game shutting down. That I will say. This game is, it's not amazing. It's not going to blow anyone's skirt up, but it's certainly better than, or on par with, a lot of the popular games of service that I've been playing. You know what I mean? So it's not, I wouldn't even put it on that level. But hey, we've got some news coming out of PlayStation. This is, I guess, technically also not officially confirmed, but it is being reported on by Tom Warren and Jason Schreier and like all of the people who don't talk unless they know about it, or at least they don't write an article about it unless they know it to be true. So I believe it. PlayStation is evidently making moves to pull out of the PC space, to stop porting their games to PC, or at least their single player games. Their multiplayer games are still, I think, up in the air according to the report. It's assumed that they'll continue going to PC. Because frankly, they need the player base. But single player games, namely Saros and Wolverine, have had their PC ports that were already being made canceled.
Right.
So that sucks for a lot of, first of all, anyone who plays on PC, that sucks. You're getting less content now. There's a lot of different theories as to why this might be the case. People are like, oh, they want to like, defend their margins. They want to, have all of these exclusives be exclusive to just their platform again, which I don't know that necessarily holds water, because they've already been like porting it to PC a year or more after it launched on PlayStation. So at that point, like the people on PlayStation who were going to buy it already did. Like, you're not hurting your margins by selling it on another space after that. I think we've seen Matt Piscatella and other analysts like specifically say that that's the case. The people who are gonna wait a year to play it on PC aren't gonna buy a $500 PlayStation, even if they're never get it. Like, they have other shit to play. So there's a lot of people, myself included, who do think that at least part of this is because they don't want, because the next Xbox is going to be able to play Steam.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking with this too.
And so they want to stop their games from being able to be played on Xbox. It doesn't seem like they're going to delist their single player games that are already on Steam, at least so far. So those ones, I guess, will still be playable on Xbox, but it's like, it does seem like they are at least partially not porting things there in order to, if nothing else, keep it off of Xbox, which I think is going to have a lot of really negative effects for both teams, frankly, because now PlayStation is basically saying, in order to stop these games from going to PlayStation or going to Xbox a year later through a weird loophole, we're going to completely cut them off from the PC marketplace entirely, which they're not making like crazy money on PlayStation, or on PC rather. They reported like they made a couple billion over the last couple years selling on on PC, which sounds like a lot, and it is, but it's not like as much as they make on their own platform, obviously. But it's like you're cutting off this whole other marketplace just to stop it from going to a third marketplace that you, I guess, don't want it to be on. So they're going to see less sales. They're going to make less money off of those games in a time where they're already complaining that the budgets for those games are unsustainable. And so it's like, I don't think that that's a good idea. I do think that that does result in a situation where either you're going to have to dramatically cut down those budgets, which you should probably do anyway, or more likely, because this is a, capitalist company, they're going to just do more layoffs, because they're going to be like, oh, well, we didn't make the money that we wanted to make off of this game because we're selling it to a third as many people as we could have been. So I guess that means the game was bad because we need to lay off 100 people at Insomniac or whatever. You know what I mean?
Oof.
Like, that feels like it's going to be the case. I think this was being like rumored last week, because I think when we were talking about the leadership change at Xbox, I do believe that I mentioned that Nixxes was a team I was worried about. They're the team that specifically ports games for PlayStation to PC. If this is true, I believe, Jason Schreier and them, that if they're reporting on this, it is. Nixxes is kind of fucked. Like, they're either going to become strictly a support studio, or they're going to get shut down. But like, they were hired or bought specifically for the purpose of doing this, and now they're saying they're not doing that anymore. So like, I mean, it feels like a 1-to-1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that sucks, and it's a relatively big team, so that's going to be just more layoffs in the game space. Here we go. And then the other aspect of it is like, we've been hearing through back channels, and this is very much a rumor, but we've been hearing through back channels on the Xbox side of things that the reason that they were porting things to PlayStation in the first place was because, since they are the biggest company in video games, even though they're in third place in terms of like console sales, but Microsoft is a bigger company than Sony or Nintendo. So they have the financial backing that they can take more risks. And so them porting to PlayStation seemingly was a ploy to try and get PlayStation to port things to Xbox, because they wanted to get to a situation where there weren't console exclusivity anymore. Like, they wanted to compete separately on hardware and software, which would have been great. It would have been good for consumers, and it would have been great for them because they have the smallest user base, so they'd be able to sell everywhere else without, sacrificing their platform, right? But now they're in a situation where it's like, if PlayStation's pulling back from PC, they're not going to continue porting stuff to Xbox. Maybe a handful of, like, we know Marathon's going over there, but so maybe a handful of like the live service games will still move over there, but the single player games at this point, they're just not going to. Like, if they're not moving it to PC, they're sure as shit not moving it to Xbox. And so I do think with the new leadership at Xbox specifically saying like, we want to rebuild Xbox, like we want to renew it and make it fresh and exciting again, there's a very strong possibility that they also stop porting stuff to PlayStation, which is now also going to be bad for both of them, but just an added blow to PlayStation, because they don't put out a lot of first-party games anymore because this games as a service push has been so catastrophic that a lot of the money that they make in the previous years has been from third-party sales, and a lot of the like best-selling games on PlayStation in the last couple of years have been the Xbox games, like the Oblivion remaster and the Call of Duty games. And I think they're still legally obligated for the next couple of years to put Call of Duty on that platform, but everything else, Asha Sharma could wake up tomorrow and be like, "Yeah, we're not doing it anymore. Like, we tried to play ball, and you guys took our ball and went home with it." And they could just be like, "Oh, so we're done." And I think the leadership change over there gives them the perfect excuse to do it, because it's like, "Oh, Phil wanted to do that, Asha doesn't," and you can just say that and be done, you know. And that sucks. That sucks. It's going to be bad. It's obviously bad for PlayStation. It's obviously bad for Xbox. It's really bad for the consumers, where now we're back in this fractured ecosystem where everyone, you have to buy, if you want to play every game, you have to buy all three again.
Hey, shocking news. Consumers take another L.
Yeah, exciting. Great times. And like, does it mean that Xbox might sell more consoles? I guess. Like, because if you have, quote unquote, have to buy one again to get their games, then like, sure, maybe. But those games are also going to be selling significantly less copies. I think Xbox games in general have not been performing super great on PlayStation. Forza sold awesome on PlayStation for seemingly no reason, but everything else has not really been doing great. So I don't know that it'll hurt those ones as much. But yeah, these bigger ones, like Forza sold, was it 5 million or some shit over on PlayStation? It's going to be really rough to be like, yeah, so when Forza 6 comes out, if they decide not to put that on PlayStation, they'll be like, yeah, and we sold 5 million less than we could have. Like, how do you explain that to your shareholders and your employees? And like, how do you make that choice? You know what I mean?
Right.
But if I'm Xbox, I'm probably doing that, right? Because if I'm Xbox, I can't be the only guy giving away my shit. You know what I mean? Because then now you're just shooting yourself in the head. You're like, you're telling people, and Sarah Bond with her everything's an Xbox marketing pitch was already kind of doing it, but you're literally telling people like, you don't need to buy an Xbox if you're just porting it to everything, right? Yeah. And if other people start doing it back, perfect, 10 out of 10, perfect utopian video game industry, everyone wins. But if nobody does, then you're fucked. So this seems like such a really small thing to be like, oh, PlayStation is pulling out a PC. But I think the ramifications of it are, we're just going back to, hey, console wars are back on the menu, boys. Like, we're back. Like, great, awesome. So that sucks shit. Like, that really blows, actually. I do think Xbox will probably still port stuff to PC. They might do more of a delayed release over there if they're like really trying to lock down, but I don't see them stopping selling on the PC marketplace. I don't think their marketplace is big enough to justify that. And especially if they're bringing PC, like Steam, onto theirs, I don't see why they wouldn't do that back, like both ways. You know what I mean? So I guess that's still fine. Like, you still don't necessarily need an Xbox. You could just have a really good PC and like be done with that. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's just not good. Like, I was really looking forward to this world where like games you could just play them where you wanted. And it looks like we're moving away from that again. And that really sucks. That really, really sucks. Did you have anything you wanted to say about the PC thing first before we move on?
No, you've summed it up better than I can. Just again, from the consumer standpoint, is like, oh, no one wants to play ball, so if you want to play the games you like across all platforms, you have to pay for all platforms, which just really bites the consumer in the ass.
Yeah, 100%. It's a bummer. In other news on the Xbox side of things, Xbox has now officially announced their next generation console. We don't have a name for it. We have a project name for it. It's called Project Helix, and they make very specific care to say it is an Xbox console that plays PC games and not a PC that plays Xbox games.
Good, because one sounds better than the other.
Yeah, and people have been like really, really pushing that. It's actually really funny. Jeff Keighley was trying to push that after this announcement, as he was like, they're launching their new PC, and it immediately got community noted, and then like all of the actual reporters came in there. They're like, hey, actually, just so you know, it is a console. And he's like, is the Steam Machine a console? And they're like, no, but that's a different thing. Like, I don't know. It's just such a funny situation where it's like, speaking of bringing back the console wars, like, here it is, we're back, where it's like, the video game space is the only space I can think of where a new console can get announced for a company, and then you see chuds online being like, guess this means they're getting out of hardware. You're like, they just announced one today.
It's we send our best and brightest. Because everything has to be a war. Everything has to be a fight, an argument.
Yeah, oh my god. What a mess. So we don't know a ton about it. They announced it here because there was no way to have it not be mentioned because they're talking about it at GDC next week. So from the 9th to the 13th, they're having a panel that's called Building the Future of Xbox, which again, I think diffuses a lot of the people being like, Xbox is dead, Asha Sharma. There was, I don't know if we talked about this last week, there was a rumor from some dipshit that for some reason picked up a ton of traction that was like, oh, Asha Sharma's just coming in to sunset Xbox as a brand. Like Xbox is done. So I think
Sure.
I do, yeah,
I feel like stuff like that always gets thrown around anytime leadership changes in any business.
fair. Yeah, that's definitely true.
But yeah, because of the volatile nature of how video game companies are discussed, that would immediately get traction, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So I do think that there's some amount of this that is to defuse that because it's obviously not true. Like Asha Sharma's entire work history is about taking brands and making them bigger. Like she is the person you bring in to do that. So I do think the first only things that she has done since being announced as being the new CEO is announcing a new console officially, announcing a GDC thing that says we're building the future of Xbox. Both of those are like I feel pretty definitive of like at least right now, the plan is we're going to continue doing this thing and we're going to try and fix it or whatever is wrong. Although I also think that the rumors of it being like desperate need of fixing are like wildly overblown, as is everything. But I do think that that's a lot of this is them trying to like get ahead of that narrative and be like, we're not shutting it down. Phil retiring does not mean we're shutting down Xbox, which I think is good messaging. The only other thing that she's done is through their, like, I think it was through their insiders program or something, but there's been a poll going around that is like, hey, if we restarted backwards compatibility, like doing more backwards compatibility porting, like what would you want from that? And I'm just like, you're saying all the things I want to hear. Like that's great. Like if we can get more Xbox original games playable on modern hardware, I'd be thrilled. I'd be super down for that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of okay with the stuff that she's doing, but again, do I trust her yet? No. we need to see what actually happens here.
Yeah, we need results before we can officially.
But it's just another week of her saying the right things. So it's a little baby step in the right direction. I guess we'll see what this GDC talk is about.
You silver-tongued devil, you.
Yeah, but this does result in a lot of people, I feel, and this is likely just my algorithm, but the algorithm since Phil's retirement for me has been all just like Xbox is fucked, everything's dead. And I feel like a lot of the people who have been saying some very specific things about like what the next generation Xbox is, whether or not it would come out, there's a lot of like bigger name people who I won't name, but they know who they are, have some like major egg on their face. Not that they'd ever admit it, but they do. And you love to see it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Are you excited at all for a new Xbox potentially coming out next year?
Oh, I'm never excited about having to buy a new thing.
That's fair. But,
I do.
I would assume that you wouldn't have to buy it as fast as you would have to buy the Switch 2, at least, because I do think that it's going to be a situation where like you can cross generation play, because that's what they did with this generation, the current generation.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. Spending more money on a piece of hardware is not something I'm excited about.
It comes down to, because I share all my Xbox stuff with my younger brother. And so his quote unquote Xbox for like the last 5 years has been my old Xbox One, and that has recently just become like not sustainable. It's
right.
old. It's put out to pasture. It's about to hit the retirement shelf if I haven't moved it already.
Right.
So it would work in the sense that like, oh, a new console came out. What's the price point? Oh, not terrible.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Yeah, I'll go get one. Yeah, so that's the optimistic look at it, right?
Yeah.
Optimistically, we'll say if the price point's not terrible, I'll go get that.
There's
and then
people...
my Series X will go to him, and then we can all go about our merry business, and he can play games on Game Pass that are not available on the Xbox One, that are only available on Series X, and he'll be happy and whatever. But if that price point is like, hey, look, $1,200 for an Xbox, like, well, no, then that's not gonna fly.
There are people saying that that's the price point. Those people are objectively wrong, because they're looking at a combination of things. They're looking at the rising price of RAM, which is not going to help.
That's worrying. Yeah.
And then they're looking at the fact that Sarah Bond, before she left the company, called the next generation that they were working on She said in an interview that it was going to be, quote, premium. And everyone's like, oh, that means really expensive.
Ooh,
But what they're
I don't like that word.
right. But what they're failing to remember, whether intentionally or not, is that that's what they've said about every single piece of hardware they've ever put out. Like you're not going to be like, yeah, we're putting out a piece of shit hardware. You know what I mean?
Of course,
Like
of course.
since the 360, every single thing that they put out has had the word premium attached to it in some way. That word is not like, oh, that's going to make the price go super high. That's not what that means. The RAM thing is not going to help. That's going to be a mess. I do think that it's going to be more expensive than we want it to be. It's not going to be $1,200. It's probably not going to be $1,000. I do think it's going to land somewhere in that $800 range, which is still too high, but a doable too high at least for some people. And I think that'll be the higher SKU, and then there'll be like a Series S equivalent that'll be probably 600 or something. I do think the reason, because all accounts are they are still pushing for a release next year. I don't know if the new leadership change will like, oh, we're going to change some things and maybe that'll push it. Because we know PlayStation's pushing to at least 2029 for the RAM because it's just too expensive for them. But
Yeah.
one benefit that Microsoft has by being such a huge company is like, well, what's the reason why RAM is so expensive right now? Everyone's buying it to put in their data centers. Well, who's building the data centers? Microsoft.
Wow, we caught a real break by being the evil ones, I
Right.
guess.
So they already have the RAM, and their company just got devalued $500 billion from people telling them to stop doing that, to stop investing this much into all of the data centers and all that shit. So they've just got this RAM. They're being told by their shareholders to stop putting it in these data centers that aren't making them money. I'm sure it'll still be more expensive than we want it to be, but if there's any of these companies that would get the advantage of being a huge, like if there's any company in the world right now that can deal with the rising cost of RAM, it's probably Microsoft. It's like them and Amazon. Those are the people building the data centers. So
Right.
they've got, like, they're the ones buying it already. So
I guess the only thing I worry about, again, from a consumer standpoint, is
right.
what if them being an evil trillionaire company, they're like, well, because everyone else has to overcharge for all this RAM that they don't have, we don't have to undercut them that much. We can still
True.
gouge.
That's going to happen. That's why it's going to be $800. But they have to bring it in. Like, Microsoft is evil. All big companies are.
Yes.
But they're also not stupid. Like, they know that if they're going to put out a piece of hardware and they want people to buy it, it has to be at a price point that their competitors can't beat dramatically. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if they launch in 2027 at $800, they can't have PlayStation launching in 2028 at $600. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whatever, and they know the math of what that is better than I'm going to be able to ever guess. But like they're evil, but they still need you to buy the product, and they understand what the realities of the market are. So I don't think
That's
it'll be.
true.
Will they gouge us? Yes, 100%, because they can and they will. So they will. But I don't think it's going to be. It's not going to be the situation where I bought that laptop and then it immediately shot up like $600.
Heyo.
Yeah, it's not going to be that. So I guess there is that silver lining. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see sort of what happens with that situation. I think this GDC talk next week is going to be really interesting as far as all that is concerned. We're not going to. I doubt we'll get a name for it. I doubt we're definitely not getting a price point for it. We're almost certainly not getting even a release window for it next week. So no one hold your breath on any of that. A lot of it's probably just going to be like, this is our general business plan, because GDC is the game developers conference. It's not a thing that is designed to be watched by the consumers.
Yeah.
So it's not going to have any of that information in it.
I don't know. I watched the NFL Combine, so anything's possible.
That's fair. That's fair. But hey, that's our week. Isn't that exciting? If you have interesting things to say about what you think the next generation of video games is going to look like, or whatever your opinion on the Green Lantern costume is, you can leave a comment on Spotify or YouTube. Those are two places we are. You can leave that same comment in both places, and I won't tell anybody you did it. But I'd appreciate it if you do. We're making that climb to 300 subscribers, and we're doing decently well on it. But we do need your help. So if you are not subscribed in one of those places, we'd very much appreciate it if you would go and do that. And then also maybe tell a friend how cool we are. It'd be great. You can follow the show on Twitter at @RSR_POD. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McG.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler 8-bit. Also on Letterboxd if you wanted to. I'm officially starting to actually write reviews for the 2026 movies that I've been watching. So
Nice.
I'll try not to just parrot my reviews on here every time I see a movie.
Fair.
And you could see, my official recommendations there if you care. I don't know.
Get the real-time updates on that one. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for watching this far into the episode, if you did. And until next time, we'll see you around.
Bye-bye.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip.